All right, so for those of you who are new to this is Agent Marketing Academy, and thank you for joining us. We're doing these usually once every 2 weeks or once a month, depending on the schedule, to basically provide information to you that can help you grow your business through technology and planning and marketing and all that. So it's all geared towards growing the real estate practice that you guys have. We want to make it as interactive as possible, so please feel free to use the chat line, or you can unmute yourselves and ask the questions. It's basically want to make this interactive where it's not just me talking to you for the next 20, 30 minutes. All right, with that being started, we'll get into this. So planning your best year ever. Today's class is just about putting together a plan for the next year. Kind of go through, reflect on what you've done over the last 12 months, and then put something in place that can allow you to have a plan to work so that you can hit your goals for 2022. All right, so congratulations for taking that first step. And as a gift for attending, we're going to be sending you out a business plan. So this cover that you see here, personalized plan to achieving your most important goals, you guys are going to get a PDF copy of that emailed out to you with the recording so that you guys can work that plan up if you haven't done so already. All right, so those of you who don't know me, my name is Dave Marzinke. I'm with Movement Mortgage. I'm the branch manager for Movement here in South Orange County in Mission Viejo. Our client, Movement's a direct lender. We work in all 50 states. And my team and I, we serve our clients in California, Nevada, Arizona, Washington, Idaho, Texas, Florida, and Louisiana. So in Nashville now too, Tennessee. So we're able to help out clients all over the country. And if you have any lending needs in the future, definitely keep us in mind. All right, so what we're going to be going over today is just first off, kind of talking about setting goals and the big reasons of why you want to do that. Taking a look at, a plan to develop your numbers so that you can know your numbers. 3, we're going to go through reflecting on what your main sources of the business are. 4, talk about some areas of improvement. And then 5, develop some help and accountability guidelines for you. So it's all about putting together that business plan so that you have something to reflect on and go forward and take a look at it. So we want to just get you started here today, get you on that path, start thinking about things. And then we can go forward together, take a look at some key areas of your business to help you put some information on paper. Because if you're not writing it down, you're not putting that pen to paper and writing these ideas down or these goals down, then it's not a plan. It's just kind of a wish at that point. So my role today is just making sure that help you coach you, be your accountability partner, and I'd love to be there for you after this so that if you have any ideas that you want to bounce off of us, definitely reach out. We can schedule some time to go through that. All right. So obviously everybody feels that having a business plan is important. That's why you're here today. And I'm sure you've heard that expression that says, most people don't plan to fail, but all they do is fail to plan. So you want to think of your real estate business plan as your GPS for the next 12 months, right? So instead of getting lost and asking for directions, you simply have a plan that you can reference, go back to, and you can make adjustments, tweaks, and then for any current market changes that happen, it allows you to keep moving forward. So hopefully that makes sense here. All right, and for our time today, we're going to be going to keep everything very kind of high level, keep things simple. And so we want to focus on our big 3 items, all right? And what are those big 3 items? 1, what do you want? Right? What is your goals for 2022? Not only your personal goals or your business goals, but also your personal goals. 2, how are you going to obtain that? How will you get it? And 3, where do you need to improve? So those are the 3 big ideas that we're going to be working with. So if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business, right? So if you're not measuring and tracking your business and your conversion rates and your closings, then you don't really have a business that you're operating, right? You're just reacting to what comes your way. So having a successful plan and achieving your goals means you have to know your numbers, right? And you want to make sure that you know your numbers through writing things down, keeping track, having tools in place, systems in place to measure and keep those metrics going. Oops, we got a few more people in the waiting room. Let me let them in. All right, welcome for those latecomers. We are going to be sending out a recording of this, so keep that in mind. But definitely interact as soon as possible, or as much as possible, so that if you have any questions, jump on in. All right, so before we can plan for the next year, we need to make sure that we take a look back at 2021 and kind of see what went well, what didn't go well, where you can improve, and that's where we're going to start today. So does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. So in your business plan manual that you're going to get sent out after the class, there's a workbook in there that allows you to go in and write these things down, and you can type them in on a fillable PDF, or you can print it out and handwrite these in, right? But you want to go back and take a look at your numbers from last year. So what was your total sales volume, right? How many transactions did you do for the year? How many of those were listings? How many of those were buyers and leases, right? How many of those came through referrals or outside lead generation? So those are the things that you want to go through. And on this first page on your business review is write down how you obtained your business and what your total commission was, and then the number of appointments that you went on and all that. So these are knowing your numbers so that you can go back and kind of look and see where your business is coming from. All right, so at the top left, like we talked about, enter your total sales volume goal, right? So these are now going on to this year, 2022. What's my goal for this year? How much in total sales volume do I want to do? And then do the math on your average commission, right? So your gross commissions earned divided by your sales volume tells you your average commission. And then how many transactions are needed for that? And then the number of appointments that you need to go on. And what's interesting is that you can break this down, and then you can come up with a calculation that shows you every appointment that I go on is worth X amount of dollars. And so it's a mindset shift so that you can actually see, going on this listing appointment or going on these buyers consultation is, based on my conversions and all that, is worth X amount of dollars to me. And that just kind of spurs you forward every single day to do those daily activities to make sure that you're scheduling those appointments, which lead to those transactions, which lead to helping you hit your goals. All that. So keep those things in mind when you're breaking this down, is that you take every single thing that you have as far as a goal and you break it down and come up with that total appointment dollar figure. And that's going to really spur you forward on making sure you go after those goals. And then the next page here is we have our personal goals that you can life in under life goals. And so we can write in what our physical goals are, our relational goals are, our financial goals, our spiritual goals, everything that you have that makes up, where your time goes on a daily basis, right? And so what are you working on? Not only on your business, but on your personal life as well. And so you want to write those down and go back and reference those to make sure that you're taking a look at that. And we all start off at the beginning of the year, right? With, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to work out, or I'm going to do this. But, it's all about having that daily activity, the consistency to make sure that you're hitting those goals, because you can have a goal. And if you work out twice a month, you're going to be a lot worse behind than if somebody's only working out once a week, right? Because that once a week, even though it's only once a week, it's consistent, and they're going to be further ahead by the end of the year. So every single daily activity leads to hitting your goals. Make sense? Let me know if you have questions on this. Then once you have all your goals defined, you want to get clear on what your why is. What's your motivation, right? What are the benefits of taking action or inaction? And how are you going to obtain these things? And then how's that going to make you feel if you do attain them? Or how's it going to make you feel if you don't obtain these goals, right? People will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure, right? So what will happen if you don't follow through with what you're promising yourself, right? And what are the consequences of not taking action? So those are things that you want to make sure you're writing down so that you could actually go back and reference this. And this is all in that manual that we're going to be emailing out to you guys. And then the next page in the manual is here. It's going to be talking about looking at where your business is coming from, right? So you want to look at your lead sources and break down your gross commission income from each source. So let's say your first lead source is your past clients, right? So then you want to go in, you want to enter the number of units from your past clients for listings and buyers, and then do the same for any of those leases. And then referrals are the closed transactions that were referred to you from past clients, and enter that number. And if you don't know the numbers right now, make sure you go back and look through your transactions to do that. And then next, you want to enter your gross commission income number. Your GCI is how much you get after your broker splits. So if your commission is, you guys know how to break it down, right? So, and then into that number for your expenses, and then subtract the total expenses from your GCI, and that'll be your net profit. And of course, having other expenses like taxes, marketing expenses, all those things. Now we just want to keep it simple, right? So you just want to look at your profit after your broker splits. And then entering those goals for 2022, how much business do you want to get from your past clients, right? Do you want to increase that? And then we want to break this down for each different type of lead source, right? So you can go in your past clients, geo farming, open houses, cold calling. If you're subscribing to any lead service, buying leads, what that lead source is, and breaking it down from there. So go through and take the time to make sure you do the exercises for each different source of business that you get. Right. And then next we go through and our performance indicators here, right? These are our conversation goals. So anticipate one transaction for every 40 business focused conversations with new leads or database contacts. And bear in mind that results obviously differ based on your skills and performance. So you have your number of transaction, you have your weekly quota and your daily quota. So this way you can develop a plan that goes through and gives you that roadmap every single day. I'm going to prospect for 2 hours and I need X amount of appointments. I need to set 2 appointments per day. And that way I can build up to hit my goals, whatever those numbers are for your individual production. And then where do you want to improve, right? So you want to make sure you take the time and go through this, and you have this graph here in the booklet, and it's going to basically, the outer ring is going to be excellent, good, fair, poor as we go into the center. And so you have your communication skills, your lead generation, your organizational skills, your personal wellness, your mindset, positive mindset, negative mindset, your lead conversion, So take a look at every single one of these and rate yourself, because that's important to go through, is being real with yourself. We'll say, okay, now I know I want to focus on this area to improve. And then this last part of the manual is coming up with different types of things to go through and focus on for lead sources, lead generation, and then activities, right? Oops, let me go back here. So you go through and take a look at, just gives you ideas of different types of lead sources, and maybe something's out of the box for you, right? You've got builders, developers, online leads, absentee owners, vendors, your geographic farm. Maybe you want to get into Facebook and do online farming. And if you don't know what that is, then talk with us, because we've got a whole class set dedicated just on that, and developing custom audiences and doing digital farming instead of geo farming with traditional mail pieces, right? A lot of new constructions opening up down here in South Orange County and San Diego County, so maybe you want to focus on helping people get into new construction homes. I know a lot of these builders are paying out to agents, for compensation that way. So think about that. And then if you go through lead generation, how are we going to develop those leads, right? What daily activity am I going to go through, on a consistent basis to generate the leads from these sources? And then once you have that in place, then we're going to talk about conversion, right? What's the best method for my conversions? And go through. And then I would recommend, if you don't have a CRM or database, make sure you have a CRM set in place, because that's going to allow you to go in every single day, and you can put your plan into that CRM, and you can actually go in and have that roadmap already mapped down, so that you're not scrambling to find the piece of paper that you wrote it down on. So Lion Desk is a really great CRM that's very inexpensive. So I would recommend taking a look at Lion Desk if you don't have one set up. And then where do you need help, right? Are you in a coaching program? I know that every single top producer that I talk with and work with, and then in our industry as well on the lending side, coaching is a big piece. And I think it allows us, you already know what to do, but it's just being accountable, and then having a space to kind of brain dump, talk about ideas, get things off your chest, kind of just, talk about frustrations if you're dealing with some stuff. And having a coach that allows you that space to do that just goes a long, long way to clearing your mind and getting your right frame of mind, so that you can go out and be successful the next day. And so having the weekly meeting or every other week meeting, really helps out in clearing your mind and moving forward. So setting up coaching, if you're not involved in that, I would strongly recommend getting into some type of coaching program to help you out with that. So, and it doesn't have to be obviously a huge expense. You can get a group of peers together and just have accountability partners that way. Meet once a week or meet once a month, however you need to do it. So that's our business planning for the year, setting up 2022 goals. You're going to get a copy of that PDF document that's going to be emailed out to you. And I would take the time to go through it, make sure you write all these things out that you want to do, and go forward from there. But I think, going forward in 2022, the market's going to be a little bit more challenging than it was the last 2 years. And I think that having a good plan in place is going to keep you growing and gaining market share. So I'll keep it open if you have any questions, but thanks for coming today, guys. And then we'll stick around if you want to chat too.